Alright guys, in this video we're going to create our users list, but first we need like a bunch of users, so we're going to use factory. So I'll just close everything and let me go there. Here let's go to the database, factories, and user, and you can see here it's going to fill up our users table. We haven't made any modifications to the users table, so let's just leave it like that. Then let's go to the seeder, database seeder. In here, let's uncomment this line, the one for users model factory 10. So we can create like 10 users. Okay, after doing that, we're going to now migrate, since we haven't yet migrated our table, our database. So I'll pull up the terminal, open the new environment here. Right here, I just type this command, let's migrate. So PHP artisan migrate fresh seed. Make sure it's double hyphen then seed. Alright, click enter. Alright, now this is going to refresh the whole database and then create these new tables, conversation and messages, and also seed the database with 10 users right here. Alright, now that this is done, next we are going to create a Livewire component. So here on the terminal, PHP artisan make Livewire users, just users. Alright, like that. And now this is going to create in here a Livewire users, and then also on like in the resources, it's going to create a users right here. Alright, now we have to add this full page component to our routes. So let's go to our routes, web. In here, we can just copy this one to save up time. Right here, we can just remove that. Let's call this one users. In here, we can call the users. Make sure it's this one right here, Livewire users, and then just call it users. So now if we go back to our front end right here, let me just create a new account. Chrome fake filler. Let's go to our users. Okay, we're now in the users, but let's now add a few details. Right, so let me close this one. Right, now let's open our users, the Livewire component itself. In here, let's just pass a parameter to the front end. So here, type that. Here, let's call them users. Here, let's call the user model, this one, or. So that this is going to pass the users to this front end. In here, let's just create a few details. So you can just, I'll post the code in the resources. You can just type along with me. So here in the main, max width 26XL. This is going to give us a max width of 6XL. MX auto MY16. Let's remove that. Down here, let's type H5. The text center, make it a big text, font bold, and then PY3. Let's call this one users. Down here, we're gonna have a users. We're gonna have a grid which is gonna loop the users. So in here, class grid cause 2. Here should be on the medium. I just wanna make responsive design all the time. And then on the large, grid cause 3, and on the X large, grid cause 4. Gap 5. The padding of 2. Inside here, we're gonna have, let's say, like before you create the for each loop, let's just create the element. So here, div dot width full, background white, border gray 200, rounded large, padding 5, shadow, or you can just click tab. Or inside here we're gonna have another element, flex call, item center, padding bottom 10, click tab. Inside here we're gonna have the image element, the width, you can call it 24, height same, 24, margin bottom, let's say 3 or 2.5. And here rounded, full, shadow, large. I mean, this image is going to be like in the middle, rounded like that. Let's click tab. The source, here we're going to use a special source from Unsplash. So you just type with me, https main for source dot unsplash.com. Here you must type the dimensions, otherwise it's going to give you an error. Let's just get 500 by 500, comma, let's say face at the alt. So now let's see how things are looking. Yeah, now you can see we have this nice box like that with an image. The image is changing every time we refresh because it's coming from the Unsplash. Right, inside down here, let's add another H5 element. Here, margin bottoms 1, text XL, font medium, text gray, 900. Let's add more classes. I think this is done. The classes are done. In here we can add a username. Let's say John Doe. Is pan. So add some classes. Text small, text gray, 500. All right, that's it. This is going to be the email. Right down here, the last element, margin top a little bit higher, space x3 dot margin. Now here we can say medium, margin top 6. Now if you go, it's looking like that. The name and everything is centered, so it's good. But we need to add 2 buttons here. So it's going to be button right here and a button right here. The one on the left is just going to be for display, but the one on the right is going to be the action button. Okay, so let's go back. In here, we're going to use the blade components, the buttons that come with it, just to make things easier. We're going to use the secondary buttons. All right, so let me go back here. So here, type X secondary button. Here, say add friend. How do you spell friend? Okay, add friend. And then down here, let's add X primary button. Here, say message. Now, if you go back, you see we have this nice, yeah, that's what I wanted, like that. So this is going to be our action button. When we click, we're going to create a conversation with this user. So now let's go ahead and loop in the users that we created in our factory. So this is the child element, child. So in here, let's create a for each loop. For each, here I'll say users, user. Let me just move this below the child element. Here, let's now get the user, copy that. Here we can paste in the name, email, down here email. Now if you go, you see we have all these users now. If we refresh the page, we have the user Kari, Michaela, all that, but now it's giving same images. So let's try to fix that a little bit. I think we can use, okay, in here just type as key pointed to the user. We can get this key right here. Let me close that. And then in here in the image in the end, let's just type, let's just paste in the key, since the key is just a number starting from 0. If we go back, no, let's make it like that. How about now? Okay, amazing. Now you can see it's giving different pictures, so that's good. Okay, let's end the video here. In the next one, we're going to actually create, when you click here, we're going to create the user conversation and go to the user page. So see you in the next video.